Okay, friends, what's up, friends? Okay, so today we're gonna do something slightly different. So basically, here's what's going on with me. So I'm currently working on creating a video game that'll become kind of like the main storytelling device for my punk anarchist film Against the Machine. The video game is based on humanity's matrix of power. Humanity's various matrices of power that exist in like different areas of human life. So like the workforce, the corporate workforce, cultural and religious systems, social systems, the different matrices of power that exists within these like different spaces that humanity has created for itself. That is the focus of the video game. It's basically like an outsider's study of the matrix behind what makes life work in our favor. So that's like the story. That is the story of the video game. Now the second and arguably, now that I've spent the past 3 or 4 years on writing, arguably now the most like daunting and challenging part of this creative is going to be bringing it to fruition, like bringing it to life, like turning it into from an idea into like a visual actual artwork. The first step of my creative process always involves pulling references. So most of the time when I'm pulling references, it's for something visual and static. So I'm pulling references from Pinterest most of the time. Behance is another good website. I find Pinterest to be better. Sometimes you can even use Google image search, dude. And you can also use just like the day-to-day happenings of your life. Like, hey, this is cool that I have sitting on my window mantle. This is a cool reference for an object that the character in the video game uses like as a relic, or like as like a symbol to represent this concept, or like as like a shield, you know, against our villains or something like that. You know, be inspired by what's around you. So references comes in 3 parts. One is finding references. That is going to happen online, more likely than not. The second is going to be keep your eyes open for inspiration everywhere, you know. Inspiration can also happen using the raw materials of your life, so just keep an open eye is the second step. The third step is going to be intentional with what you consume always. Don't ever mindlessly consume. So like what that looks like for me is like constantly curating what my music taste looks like. It means researching and creating a list of things that I will watch, you know, in the moments of my free time when I'm watching something. In the moments where I'm like sitting down and watching something, like don't just turn anything on, you know. Keep a running list of like movies and TV shows that are stuff that I want to experiment with, or like stuff that I find to be conceptually interesting, or stuff that is made by like my favorite directors, or like stuff that exists within my favorite genres like magic realism or Japanese surrealist horror, things of that nature. I'm creating a running list of like basically a museum of my mind. Like what is like my taste personified into a list of movies? What is my taste personified into a list of books? A running roster of like physical media that I am like always like in the middle of consuming throughout my life, rather than like mindlessly consuming whatever. Like yeah, I don't spend any time on my phone since my heart is being filled with like this like methodology of like intentional consumption. But anyways, those are the 3 places that like I get my references from, and that is always the first step of my creative process, is like finding inspiration, looking for inspiration. The references that I found for video games, which I found with the help of Gemini, I outlined to Gemini exactly what I was looking for, exactly what my like creative style is, and it gave me back a list of references, which I ran through and landed on 2 options that resonated particularly heavily. Okay, one of these video games is called LSD Dream Emulator, and it was released in 1998. It was released for the PS1, which is crazy. Okay, so this is a video game that's like kind of like the purest expression of visual surrealism inside of a video game. It was built entirely using the developer's dream journal, okay, which is a log of his dreams that was collected over the course of 10 years, okay, which is already resonating for me super heavily because I do the same thing. I've kept a running log of my dreams for the past like 3 or 4 or 5 years. This is maybe not even half of it. So he took his dreams log and then created something with it, which is so sick, and I want to do too. What I really loved about this video game is the concept behind it. Like, I think it's awesome that it is based off of this dude's like actual dreams log, and like the spaces that are designed inside of this video game are based off of the spaces that he has like navigated in his dream world. My log of dreams that I have also created an archive of like the different dream spaces that I regularly visit. Okay, I have like it's almost like a wiki that I've created for my dream world, for my subconscious world, for my subconscious mind. I have like a map of my subconscious mind. Okay, and I have already begun to sketch out like I've already begun to create sketches of like what these like spaces like look like. This is just a very quick initial sketch. That is what I really loved about LSD Dream Emulator, is that it gave me an example of bringing your dreams to life. The second video game that I was really taken by was Disco Elysium. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I basically just saw like the like intro like opening cutscene of this game, so like I do apologize if I'm getting any of this information wrong, but like it basically starts off with like this being like a post-apocalyptic world. I think none of humanity even exists. You guys are just kind of like this energy, like nothing exists anymore. You like literally are just energy. Like everything is just black. Everything is just void. Okay. Speaking to like having this like dialogue with like the consciousness that you're speaking to like isn't even like physically there. Like you are like literally just by energy like communicating with this thing. Like you somehow have a dialogue with this thing, okay? And this other thing is described as an ancient reptilian brain, okay? And so you like somehow convince this ancient reptilian brain to spit you back into human existence, okay? And like the entire game starts off as a black screen, and then once you're spat back, you like wake up in the middle of this like very trashed rundown apartment, okay? And that is how the game starts. The thing that I really liked about this video game was the way that the intro was set up. I think it's awesome that you have this dialogue. I guess to almost create like jest out of, you know, the purpose behind human existence, and to ultimately, you know, stand for this message that it is ourselves, it is us that creates meaning within our lives. So anyways, and basically, now the conglomerate of these like two references that I was inspired by, here's the idea that I have. Basically what I want to do is I want to create a character intro, which is going to be me. It's a character called Genderpunk in this game. I want to create the character intro of our main character by showing my dreams, okay? By showing my dreams. Those dreams will be based off of real dreams that I've had in my dreams log. And, you know, I've already started to sketch some of those dreams out. My next step, which is going to be my work block for tomorrow, is that I'm going to show the process of how to turn, you know, my dreams into full-fledged animations, using a dual system between 4 different AI softwares that I'm currently in the midst of figuring out right now. So that is going to use Google Gemini. Then we're going to transition to Midjourney, okay? 11 Labs and Runway, okay? So yeah, write down your dreams, y'all. I'm going to show you the how tomorrow. Peace.